Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Edwards Trades. I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend. I'm here again to give you my thoughts, my predictions on the overall stock market, the SPYs, the QQQs, as well as the core listed companies. I'm here to give my overall analysis, my predictions, my thoughts, where I think we're heading, where I think we're not gonna head, so on and so forth, and break it down for you guys as easy as possible. But first, what I want to get out the way is that I know I didn't upload my video last week on during Labor Day weekend. I was out with family, and besides that, I also was fairly sick, so I wasn't able to really had the time to record. I've been kind of just bedridden, and I just wanted to not not look into the market at the moment. And I did have plans on making, of course, videos this week because we do have some major economic news coming out this Tuesday, which is going to be the. Let me get my calendar real quick. It's going to be this Tuesday, which is the 13th. So I will be uploading another video just for the inconvenience of me not uploading last week. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm still a little bit sick. I'm recovering still. So I'm feeling a lot better. But yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about the overall market. So I got one video for today and then another video this Tuesday for CPI data, inflation numbers, and yeah. So for my last video, I believe this was before Labor Day weekend, we did have that head and shoulders pattern form, as I mentioned in my previous video, where I said that I kind of determined that the market was going to head to lower. So we've kind of, since that last video I posted leading into September, the new month, the market has kind of been dropping. Sellers really took control of the market. If we go to the daily perspective, as you can see here, we had this big red drop in the market because of the head and shoulders pattern. We fell over. Sellers were able to take control. And when we're talking about levels here specifically, SPY was kind of at a critical level here. If I go ahead and show you guys my drawing, if we ignore these white lines here, we were kind of dropping during this major sell-off after, I believe, Jerome Powell was speaking the Friday of Labor Day, which was let me see, I believe the second of Friday, which is right around here. Right here, the market dropped lower. We did recover during this Thursday session, and then we rejected. But moving forward, during Tuesday's trading session, Tuesday's trading session, we kind of dropped below support of 3945. The reason why that's important is because these were summer lows that that led us into more bearish territory here, and for the most part, we were kind of sitting around here for quite some time. Excuse me. And as you can see here from a 4-hour perspective, we kind of like were rejecting these levels, and the market, or the bears, really the sellers, right? They were kind of in control for the majority of the period ever since this drop down in selling pressure across the tech sector, and the buyers were able to step in and break out of this 394.5 region, and now we're kind of sitting rejecting these prices or SPYs rejecting 4,000. So why is that important? It's because during this time of this selling pressure, you could say that the market was expecting for the bears to completely turn the market around and go back to bearish territory. However, we're not out of the woods just yet, because although the buyers did step in during this Labor Day week, we did manage to hold the line, as you can say, and reject lows, reject summer lows below below 3,945 here, and we've actually managed to support this previous trend line I've drawn out here and recapture levels. So bulls were able to recapture these lows, and now we're kind of rejecting the 4067 level. So we were heading into bearish territory, but we're still not out of the woods yet, because we still have to break out of this overall trend line here that I have drawn out here. We did manage to gap above it, but we still have this, this recovery that we're kind of seeing for this Labor Day week could be short-lived. I mean, we could reject these levels and come back down, because we did gap up. I believe this was Tuesday's trading session. Oh, excuse me, the 8th. So Thursday's trading session, we gapped up with no clear retest of these of this support level here. I'm gonna go ahead and draw out a line here so you guys can see. Right on here, you could say. So maybe the market's waiting for a retest here, and then we can continue to move higher. But for the most part, we did reject this level, and I'm not expecting us to break it and just fly right past and recover all this selling pressure that was already lost during 2 weeks ago. So we'll see how that looks. So we're gonna look at let me see, SPY. All right, so we're gonna go to the daily perspective here. So like again, it's like I said here, we're still waiting to get over this major resistance line here that I have drawn out here. Again, it's the same play out selling pressure here. This is SPY FP 500. The other one was SPY index, but fairly the same information. Again, we rejected the 406 level, 406 resistance level Friday, and again we did gap up on the 8th. So we're possibly waiting for maybe a slight pullback to retest this level, fill the gap, and then continue to move higher. This selling pressure was pretty significant, so I don't really expect us to again make a full recovery and go back up to bullish territory. The only really true determining factor of whether or not we either come back up or come back down would be the CPI data this Tuesday, which is going to be released around 8:30 in the morning. But till then, again, from like I mentioned earlier, 390 was critical support. If the bulls did not hold these levels, we would have went back down to summer lows, and we would have been right back down to how the beginning of the year went. Bearish territory, bear mode, and yeah, the market would have seen lower and dropped lower. But for now, we did held that 390 support once, twice, 3 times, 4 times here, driving the bears out, causing this move up throughout this week. And again, we're waiting to see if we break 406 or if we chase back down, at least at the halfway mark here, and continue to move higher. So now we're going to look at the QQQs. Let me go ahead and see something real quick. And that's not it. QQQ. So again, kind of like SPY and everything else, if the daily perspective is that we held these levels here, we did almost break down. If I go ahead and draw my trend line here, from this prior low to here, as you can see, we're kind of rejecting this. If I get rid of this marker here, or I'll just keep both, but we did drop from this previous support line, trend line here, starting from the summer, and we've been respecting it ever so for one touch here, 2 and 3, and then after this head and shoulders selling pressure came through, we're just now rejecting this region here. Although we did manage to hold above 296, again it was very crucial during this time on the 6th, which was I think it was Monday, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not good with my dates. Tuesday, that we did close under here. But again, since we're kind of back up in this I guess you can say this trading zone, we're still waiting to see if we're gonna break this level here, reject it, this level here, and especially reject this previous trend line on the QQQ. So we could see again maybe a possible pullback down to this level here around 303, and then a move higher, and that's a more likely scenario. Or depending on how the news comes out this Tuesday, we can probably drop lower and head flush right back down here in this overall trend line I drawn right here, respecting these low. It would be like, for example, what I'm trying to say is in general is that it would basically be an let me get my drawing tool. This would be considered you have a high here, then you would have a lower high here. Where's the drawing? You would have a lower high here, and then you have, of course, your lower low. You have your low here, and then you have your lower low here in this region. And then now I could say, and theoretically speaking, we're just continuing the downtrend, and then we have another lower high here. So if this were the scenario that I'm thinking it's going to play out, then the market's really just creating a false sense of hope that we're kind of fully recovering. So if this is a lower high or higher low, lower high and lower low situation, that technically means that it's bearish and it's a downtrend. So we could be forming a lower high situation. And again, if that is a scenario, then we're just waiting for the markets to go lower. But it all depends on what the CPI data reveals and whether or not inflation is under control or not. So levels to look out for: if we are able to hold above and break 30, I would say 308 as psychological resistance, then maybe we can try to recover back up to after breaking 312 and then recoup all this selling pressure and fill these gaps here that was lost. And excuse me. And if not, we would have to break 313. No. So yeah, we're waiting to recapture 312. 313 here, and then we could possibly see again, new higher highs. But in order to again signal a reversal, a bullish reversal, we need to, of course, create a higher high situation here, and a higher high above here, then a higher low, and then keep that trend going like we have had here in these previous. We had a higher high here, or you had a high, lower, you're a high, a low, and you have a higher high, a higher low, and a higher high here, and then so on and so forth. So yeah, so again, the two scenarios I'm seeing here, this could be like I drew out a lower high situation, which would mean that this market is going to possibly come back down and respect this overall trend line I've drawn out here. Or if the CPI data comes out good and bulls are able to take control, we need to form, of course, another higher high situation, and of course recapture all this selling pressure that was already lost during the 26th. So now we're going to go on to Apple, or move on to the core listed companies, I should say. Let me go ahead and get rid of this real quick. But yeah, since they're all kind of one and the same, the SPYs and the QQQs, the information is going to be relatively the same here. Again, much like SPY and the QQQs, everything kind of sold off, and we're kind of regaining of what was lost. Let me go ahead and have this drawn out here. Right there. Draw like this. Oops. Right around here. I guess that's fine. Don't worry about this line right now. I'm just drawing that for future reference. But like for this whole week, Apple hasn't really been doing much. We kind of just been sideways here, but hanging below 157. Sellers weren't really able to drive down Apple enough to reach lows up to 152 in this prior region here. So the bulls weren't able or managed to take control and hold the line here. We were kind of sideways in this chop fest here from below 157 to the low of, I would say, 153, 154ish. We were just kind of sideways here. And then during Friday's trading session, we did manage to close above 157, which is, of course, which was previous resistance here, and now it's come back and turned into support. So we're going to wait and see if we can recapture and hold above the 157 level, or if we're going to drop back down and see more selling pressure and drop to below 150. And there was something I was going to point out about Apple, but I can't figure. Oh yeah, so again, it could be another lower high situation. We had this big drop here. Again, you have your lower, you have your high, your lower high here, lower low, lower high, so on and so forth. So this kind of recovery above 157 is okay, but if we hold 157, the next level will be looking at 160, which was previous resistance here. If we did, if we can't, excuse me, if we can't hold 157, then we're probably going to drop back down here in this kind of like chop fest zone here, and buyers really or sellers really take control, then we're probably going to be seeing 150s in the near future. So now we're going to take a look at let's take a look at Microsoft here. So much to the overall market here. Go ahead and fix this. It's kind of messy. All right. So kind of in the same region here, we did support this trend line here during the 7th. So Labor Week, we were holding this crucial. So let me go ahead and draw this horizontal so you guys can see a little better. But again, we'd held the line here around this region, right around here in this zone. And we did manage to, not only bounce off it, we did close below it, but we did manage to come back up and bounce off here. So again, we're still waiting to break 269 to kind of like come out of this downward trend. And then same levels. Let me go ahead and draw this out. Again, it still could be a lower high situation and a higher low situation, which means that it's overall still bearish. But let me fix this a little better. All right, here. I'm gonna have to fix that. It looks kind of like silly. Actually, no. Looks okay. Oh, it looks like that. Oh well. But yeah. Sorry about that. But as far as levels go, we break 269. We're probably going to be seeing a move towards 281, which would be the next resistance level. If we break the 255 region, if we go to the weekly perspective, then we're probably going to see lower. The low would be right around here, around 245, if we break 250. So I would definitely look out for that in case the market wants to head lower in that region. But overall, during this time period, we've kind of been sideways, so we could be seeing some more chop here from Microsoft. But the only thing that can change that factor would be the CPI data this Tuesday. So we're gonna take a look at Nvidia. So if we go to the daily, Nvidia, kind of the same thing, the massive selling pressure, and then of course the news with China that they're not allowed to sell chips in China anymore. So that's kind of been weighing in on the overall selling pressure across the chip stocks, or AMD and Nvidia specifically. So again, these levels are, we gapped down here, which is pretty crucial during the last day of August. So we're kind of just like, I would say an unknown territory, but we still held above 141. We could be seeing a gap fill here, this big hole here. Buyers could possibly fill this gap here, but for the most part, it's fairly weak. So levels to look out for: if we break above 160, then we're in this trend line here, then we're possibly going to see a move towards 171. More than likely, we're just going to sit sideways here for my overall outlook of Nvidia, but in this like here. But again, if we break 141, the low would generally have to be 115. The next low would be 126 for Nvidia. So now we're going to take a look at AMD. And that would be the last company that I go over for today. So we did again manage to break out of 80, which was pretty important level, especially since if we were to reject 80 here, we were possibly getting a drop back down to 74. But bulls held the line on the 4-hour time frame, where we kind of pasted up right here. We kind of have this minor uptrend forming temporarily for what I have drawn on here. And again, levels to look out for AMD. If we're able to hold above 85, turn that resistance here into support, the next level I would see, or the next resistance area would be 90. But right now we're kind of like, we kind of sat here, so I'm not really too convinced that we're gonna just fly towards 90. Anything could happen, but for the most part we did hold above 70, or we did break above 80, turned it into support, and now we're sitting at 85. If we reject 85, we're probably going to drop back down to 82, which is psychological resistance for the time being. And then if we drop below 83, 82-ish, the next level we'll be seeing is 80, and then you will be heading right back towards the lows of 70 here. The low was 71, so it's 70-ish range for AMD. And then that's pretty much it for what I have for you guys today. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and make another video after the CPI data comes out this Tuesday at 8:30 in the morning. I'll discuss exactly what's been going on and see whether or not inflation is being under control, and what how the market's going to react on it, because that's of course major important news. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know I sound a little bit sick, so I apologize for the coughing and and that stuff. But again, um, you know, although bulls may seem like they recovered here, they still have a lot to gain here. Like for example, like AMD, this massive selling pressure is gonna it takes a toll, takes a lot of money, and buyers to step in to recover all this loss here. But we'll see how the bulls will handle it, how will handle this for the most part. Um, but again, CPI data this Tuesday at 8:30 in the morning. We'll see how the market reacts to that news and see where after that where the market's going to be looking at in the near future, or for the rest of fall, really. Um, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Um, Please subscribe, comment down below on what stocks you want me to look at. And if you guys want me to do a separate video on cryptos and take a look at that, I will. I'm going to try to keep both of them, stocks and cryptos, currencies, different and split. But if you guys want me to do that and prefer that, just let me know in the comment section. But please like the video. Hope you guys are enjoying the content, and I'll see you guys this Tuesday. Peace.